What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, August the 16th, 2021. It is 12:19 p.m. I hope everybody's had a good morning and continuing on into a great afternoon. We got a lot to go over today, so I'm going to kind of move fast. But just to go over some of the charts we've been looking at, you got Bitcoin here. I have moved my retracement level back up so I can look at the bigger picture as far as this particular section goes. We are kind of consolidating here just a little bit on the 50% line. It doesn't bother me. Before I had pulled it up, if you look, it's been nailing the 618 on the way back up and then kind of hanging out right underneath of it. I don't think that's cause for concern yet. It's something worth keeping an eye on, though. We go over to ETH. Everything else, we're pretty much looking at the grand scheme of things. ETH has come right up to the 618. And it keeps nailing it. 4 days in a row, it smashed directly into it and then came back down. I don't know that that's cause for concerns either. These are still kind of looking bull flaggy a little bit to me, so it would not surprise me to see this thing take off. There is a lot of news and stuff out there that's affecting crypto right now and other markets. We're going to get into that in a minute. Here you have Solana, who has completely bypassed its all-time high at this point. Its all-time high was right here, and we are now almost 15% above it. We had blasted to almost 20% above it during this daily candle. So now that we are in this range, Solana is something I would be keeping a very close eye on if it's something that you hold. It could get real crazy real soon. Again, none of what we talk about here is financial advice, investment advice, tax advice, anything like that. Don't buy or sell based on anything you see or hear on this channel. That would be a terrible idea. This is just, educational and entertainment purposes. Just showing you guys what I'm looking at personally and some of the things that I'm doing and taking into consideration. And definitely do your own research. Even the stuff I show you guys, make sure you're researching that. Because for all you know, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Going over to the total altcoin market cap excluding Bitcoin, we finally reached out and touched this purple box that I've been talking about forever, guys. And what happened? It jammed it right back down. If you look at the price range here, so we got up to right here into there, and it has knocked us back down a 4% for the entire market after tapping that. That is significant. The fact that it is still kind of maintaining in this range, though, I still am bullish and I am still hopeful. You do see some volume starting to crank up too. I don't think there's any real cause for concern yet, but like I said, this is the area where we all need to be paying attention because this is reactionary. This is the Action Jackson zone. XDC will go back over here. It had blasted past did go past its all-time high actually, but it found its all-time high and has now fell back down. We'll get out our price range tool again. It had created a new all-time high up here around 17 cents and has since fell 23% back down. Does that mean that it's over for this thing? I don't think so. I think XDC is extremely undervalued, given what it's going to be used for and the amount of money it will represent one day. That's something you guys should look into. This is all about trade finance. R3's core to settler. It's the internal settlement token, along with XRP. So there's there's a lot of great stuff going on about XDC. XRP, we will see, has came up almost to the 618, not quite, but it is also following the rest of the market and has kind of brought itself back down, resting right on top of the 50% retracement, which is also what Bitcoin is doing pretty much. So, XRP is just kind of following the market like it usually does. We're waiting for the day that it decouples and just goes crazy. We'll talk about that a little bit towards the end of the video. Just to go over some of the things that are going on in the world. This is not me weighing in from a political standpoint or a humanity standpoint or anything like that, but this is something that is going on that is affecting the global market, so we're going to take a look.
Afghanistan's president fleeing the country yesterday ahead of Taliban fighters entering the capital of Kabul as the group rapidly expands its control in that country. CNBC's Dan Murphy joins us right now. He has the latest on that.
Well, Becky, make no mistake, we are witnessing a historic moment in Afghanistan near 2 decades after the US withdrawal. What's interesting is, of course, the situation at Kabul airport right now, where we're seeing reports of mass gatherings on the ground, Afghan citizens ultimately attempting to flee the country. What we've seen is vision on social media showing scenes of total desperation. This is people clamoring around a moving US Air Force jet, some holding on in desperation, you can see there, and others running alongside. We've also seen vision of people climbing on aero bridges and equipment in attempt to board flights. And earlier today, NBC News also reported that shots were being fired. So clearly a worsening security situation on the ground in the capital, Kabul, which is now effectively under Taliban control. Becky, also stunning images emerging just in the past 24 hours from the presidential palace, where armed Taliban fighters were able to make their way inside the palace as the Taliban effectively took control of Kabul. That, of course, came after CNBC in the Middle East was able to confirm that the Afghan president had effectively left the building. Now, as that took place, we know the US has also been working to protect and evacuate staff members at the US Embassy in Kabul. It's now been mostly cleared out, but President Biden has also moved to deploy more troops to protect American assets and personnel there, about 6,000 new troops, in fact. Of course, all of this coming as new questions circle about America's involvement in this 20-year-long engagement in Afghanistan, some describing this as a Vietnam moment for President Biden and, at the same time, an embarrassing end to America's longest war. Some key questions to ask here. How did the Western intelligence community ultimately underestimate the Taliban's ability to regain control of Afghanistan in such a short amount of time? And the other key question to ask is, how are world powers now going to respond with an emergency session of the UN Security Council getting underway in around 3 hours' time now? No doubt we'll hear from world leaders out of that meeting. It's back over to you, Kelly.
You know, just something worth paying attention to. These global events like this, they affect markets. Who knows what's going on over there? I'm not going to get into that. Walmart seeks crypto product lead to drive digital currency strategy. Walmart's future digital currency and crypto product lead will be based in the company's home office in Bentonville, Arkansas. This is a pretty big deal. Of course, they can't hire enough cashiers, but they're going to get their blockchain expert. But I think this is a big deal. It has driven some price up over the last 24 hours or so. Microsoft is planning to use the Ethereum blockchain to fight piracy. The major software developer's new plan to combat piracy relies on the transparency of blockchain technology. I thought this was pretty cool. As we see this as a distributed system problem, in the implementation we overcome a set of unavoidable obstacles to ensure security despite full transparency. I'm not going to read all these articles through and through, but you get the point. I mean, there's big names still coming into the space. Here you have Novogratz's Galaxy Digital backing a $50 million funding round for crypto staking outfit Figment. The crypto staking service platform is now worth over $500 million and could be looking to expand staff strength and business operation. Mike Novogratz, investment manager from Galaxy Digital, has participated in a $50 million funding round for Figment. According to Bloomberg, Galaxy Digital joined investors like Anchorage and Bonfire Ventures in a Series B funding round led by Senator Investment Group and Liberty City Ventures. The company is now reportedly worth about $500 million following the fresh injection of capital. Just remember, guys, anytime you see Mike Novogratz investing in something, you might as well read that as Goldman Sachs. That is my opinion. That is where he is from. I am not a huge fan of Mike Novogratz, although he is an extremely smart man. Just because I am not a fan of him does not mean he's stupid. So when you see that name, pay attention. I thought this was an extremely interesting article, how blockchain could have saved the Library of Alexandria. And if people don't remember, the library was burnt and all that stuff happened. Here it says here, the significance of knowledge is particularly acute when it is lost. With tragedies such as the fire of the Library of Alexandria, excuse me, or the pillaging of the House of Wisdom in ancient Baghdad, or the more recent losses of artifacts at the Iraq Museum, perspectives were lost, advancements in philosophy and literature were forgotten, and languages and translations have vanished from the earth. As we look to preserve our history, how can we safeguard the artifacts of our heritage from disaster? Using blockchain technology to keep a record of the data stored on a decentralized cloud service could be exactly what the historical and archive industries need to protect our collective human history from destruction, pillage, and faulty record keeping. I think this is fantastic. If you create a truly decentralized system for this that is, well maintained and really decentralized and just using the right tech, I think you could have the world's data backed up and it would just be safe. It's I think this is awesome. TikTok has partnered with an Ethereum based music streaming platform, Audius, instead of Spotify and other mainstream music streaming platforms. TikTok, which recently became the world's most downloaded app. I still don't understand that. I don't know if you guys are TikTok fans, and I hope I don't offend you by saying that I am absolutely not. I am 35 years old, and it does not appeal to me, but it is huge. That is a fact, especially in the young community. But they have picked a blockchain-based project, Audius, as the first partner in the niche of music streaming. Artists who use the Red Hot video sharing app will be able to publish their music under the TikTok Sounds section. The Audius app was initially launched on Ethereum-based POA network. In October, the project partially migrated to a high-throughput rival, Solana. Earlier this month, it announced that it reached 5 million monthly users, which makes it one of the most widely used applications that are powered by blockchain technology. Spotify, which is the largest music streaming platform in the world with 365 million active users, constantly faces criticism for underpaying musicians. Meanwhile, Audius makes it possible for creators to set their rules when it comes to monetization, and instead of paying them directly, musicians use the audio token that can be used for yield earning through staking. I would say about 95% of our users have no idea that blockchain is even involved, and that doesn't surprise me because nobody even knows what blockchain is. But that is awesome for the music industry. I think it's super cool. Flare's IOUs at almost 50% overnight ahead of Songbird release. If you're not familiar, IOUs on the Spark is a core native utility and governance asset of the much anticipated blockchain Flare, remain the only option for Flare supporters that his blockchain has not launched yet. It was supposed to launch in July, and it is apparently going to launch in September if everything goes well. Songbird is essentially, from what I understand, is like some sort of fork of the Flare network that will allow a lot of testing for decentralized apps and all kinds of other stuff. It's supposed to be pretty cool. Flagship Flare-based DeFi ecosystem Flare Finance is going to deploy its mechanisms to Songbird. So that is also interesting. I'm not sure how this all plays out. I am a huge Flare fan, though, for as far as DeFi goes. The F assets and all the stuff they're going to bring smart contracts to is huge. You have XRP, XLM, I believe Doge is on there, Shiba's on there, which I'm not a fan of Shiba, but it's still going to be on there. You have Algorand. There's a bunch of them. If you guys aren't familiar with that, go check that out, because for DeFi, that's a massive amount of liquidity, allowing people that hold those tokens to participate, because you can't on most platforms. Speaking of Dogecoin fans can now buy used Tesla cars with their favorite meme coin. Earlier this August, the company announced it was also working on developing a script-based miner for merge mining Dogecoin and Litecoin. The joke cryptocurrency has been making major inroads with mainstream adoption. As reported by You Today, Tesla CEO Elon Musk recently echoed fellow billionaire Mark Cuban by claiming that Dogecoin is the strongest cryptocurrency in terms of payment. I'm going to be real with you guys. Mark Cuban also raised some eyebrows when revealed that he only owns $500 worth of Dogecoin, which I do find super interesting. What I also find interesting is that they would say it as the strongest case for payments. That is not true. It is a fork of Bitcoin. I think it's a better technology than Bitcoin, honestly, but that's a ridiculous claim. These guys are just talking their book. And what I like to call talking your book is bullshitting and lying. That's just the reality of it. I can't believe he only owns 500 of Doge and he's out here talking. I'm not even going to cover this article. I am not even going to link it in the description. That is ridiculous. Elon Musk and Mark Cuban say Dogecoin is the strongest crypto for payments. Here we go again. It's a medium that can be used for the acquisition of goods and services. The community for Doge is the strongest when it comes to using it as a medium of exchange. I've been saying this for a while. I don't shill Doge. I shill the products and services of my companies, where we allow people to pay in any crypto. 95% of the sales are in Doge. Customers choose to use Doge. We can argue everything and anything regarding Bitcoin, but right now Doge is the people's way to play. The point about Doge that people miss is Doge's imperfections and simplicity are also its greatest strengths. You can only use it to do two things, spend it or hodl it. Both are easy to understand and it's cheap to buy, which make it a community anyone can join and enjoy. Meme coins like Doge only work if they gain utility and users use them for that utility. As long as you can spend Doge, because we know its annual inflation rate is set at 5 billion coins, it can gain some value as the utility grows. It becomes like any other currency. I'm not buying into all of this still. The Doge community relies pretty much 100% on Elon Musk's tweets, which means once they stop, if they ever do, the value will stop. That's my opinion. You have stuff like, not even just XRP, but which everybody knows I'm bullish on, that is the payments crypto in my opinion. You have XLM, super fast. They're all much faster and much cheaper to use than Doge. They have much more utility, the security behind them and the development. I don't think Doge has actually had really an updated development since like 2016 or something crazy. And the main lady that was doing most of the development, she just died last year. And I don't know if it has resumed possibly because I don't follow Doge that close, but these claims, in my opinion, are ridiculous. I did say on a thread the other day, if you are a Doge holder, I am super hopeful for you, and I do hope that you make what you're attempting to make. I am not a maxi that goes around hating on people that make different investments. That's not how I think we're all in this together. I just think that long term, when regulation really comes into play, you take something like Dogecoin that was created purely for satire by developers, that's now used because of meme pop culture mainly and because of celebrity tweets. I just don't know that it has staying power when the hammer comes down from whatever organization's going to start swinging it here in the near future. It's just an opinion, something to watch. Like I said, I hope you guys all become crypto millionaires with your Dogecoins. Ethereum locked in Ethereum 2.0 contract hits almost 7 million ETH. Here's what that means. It goes through some stuff. I'm not gonna. ETH balances on exchanges are dropping, which means people are buying. Ethereum is inching closer to 3,300. Yada yada yada. There's a lot of good news with Ethereum. Even though, full disclosure, I do not hold Bitcoin, I do not hold Ethereum, and I do not hold Doge. I cover all three of them because I think they are important to my audience. And also, Bitcoin's the original. Ethereum is the most programmable blockchain in existence, at least at this point. That could change. I mean, I don't know what's being developed, but it is a huge ecosystem. That's why the gas fees are so ridiculously stupid, because there's a lot of congestion. There's a lot of things happening on the Ethereum network. So this is still pretty cool. What is Wyoming doing for the Bitcoin and crypto industry? Well, they call it the promised land these days. The latest bill that was approved by the state will allow for quick approval for new crypto banks. This was the first place to have crypto banks. You got Krakens out there, Avanti's out there, Ripple's got some stuff going on out here. A lot of people are making their way out here. Wyoming's bill just clarified that this industry is lawful and exists in a recognized manner. The state of Wyoming is bringing in more revenue and tech jobs thanks to crypto. It could be a sandbox in action for Washington, D.C. This is a great article. You guys should take time to read that. 4 institutional investment managers get Bitcoin exposure after purchasing 250,000 shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Each share only represents 0.0009 blah 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 Bitcoin, so that I think they're in like the $20-some range. It's not really that crazy when you hear it like that, but that's still a few $1 million worth of Bitcoin, and coming from an institutional money. So, people are still rolling in with the big dogs. U.S. government is offering dark web informants bounties in crypto. I thought this was interesting. Whoa, sorry about that, guys. I thought I had this open. The U.S. State Department is offering dark web informants cryptocurrency bounties in exchange for information on hackers seen as threats to the country. The State Department's Reward for Justice, the RFJ program, offers up to $10 million for the identification or location of any person who, while acting at the direction or under the control of a foreign government, participates in malicious cyber activities against the U.S. critical infrastructure. This isn't the first time the State Department has launched an initiative like that. In fact, the RFJ program has been in place since 1984. Since then, the government has paid over $150 million to over 100 people who have provided actionable information that put terrorists behind bars or prevented acts of international terrorism worldwide. They keep talking about all these ransomware attacks and all that stuff. The one guy that just did that huge ransomware attack, he actually declined the bounty of like 600. I think it was, I don't know if it was 600 million or if it was 600,000. I don't remember. I don't want to quote wrong, but he actually turned it down and returned most of the crypto and said that he did it because it was such a hot and upcoming thing to do for hackers. The one thing that I do think is good and a silver lining on that is they're going to learn about the faults in these people. Eventually will get hired by these companies to help improve the technology, because that's just what happens. 50 years after the dollar left the gold standard, it faces increased competition from the euro, yuan, and yes, Bitcoin. Will the dollar stay preeminent as the world's reserve currency? This guy says the U.S. should take nothing for granted, and I agree, because there are technologies out here that are very promising. And, the significance of this moment is arguably exaggerated in the sweep of financial history. The gold standard that Nixon ended has lasted less than 3 decades under extremely unusual circumstances. In its place eventually came the relatively free-floating exchange rates we know today, in which the relative value of currency changes based broadly on the economic clout and political stability of the issuing nations. As it happened, despite the rise of Europe and Japan, this new currency regime still favored the now unbacked U.S. dollar. For the half-century since, it has remained the dominant currency for global trade and the overwhelming choice of foreign central banks looking for a stable store of value. As we discussed in the first installment of this series, it has given the U.S. a variety of economic and political advantages, often referred to as the dollar's exorbitant privilege. But now the status quo of dollar dominance is eroding. Post-pandemic inflation has reignited worries about the dollar's declining reserve status, which is why people are hedging with crypto, but is a much longer-term trend. In May, the dollar's share of central bank reserves fell to a 25-year low of 59%. The dollar's lost share has been taken up in large part by the growth of reserves held as euros, Japanese yen, and Chinese yuan. There are also other competitors, though it's still just a glimmer on the horizon. Crypto advocates have long argued that Bitcoin or another digital asset could serve as a global reserve currency, and recently much more mainstream figures, including the former head of the Bank of England, who is a big Ripple supporter, have supported the idea of supranational digital reserve instruments. And it talks about the euro, the yen, the yuan. You get down here into Bitcoin, starts talking about all that. And yeah, this is a great article if you kind of want to understand some of what is going on in the financial realm. We got one more little clip here, and we're going to wrap this thing up. Here is BitBoy Crypto yet again, the biggest crypto YouTube channel on the planet with over 1 million subscribers. And listen to what he says about the SEC case and whether or not it matters.
Some analysts are calling for a $3 XRP this cycle, but I think that's lame. My prediction for XRP is still holding between $10 and $12, and that's even if the SEC case is ongoing. If the case with XRP goes away, either with the SEC giving up or just giving Ripple a slap on the wrist, we could be looking at truly parabolic prices for XRP that can see double digits per coin.
There you have it, guys. $10 to $13 is what most of the main guy like BCBacker, who I trust in a big way. He's conservative about a lot of things, but that's safe and guarantees me something of what I'm trying to accomplish. Of course, he's not giving financial advice or anything either, but these are the numbers that he talks about, $10 to $13 here in the near term, hopefully. So I do back that up. And with that, guys, we're going to end this thing. Make sure you follow me at True Perception 3 on Twitter. Shoot me a DM if you want. I'll probably follow back as long as you look like a decent channel. And make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. I do have... make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the uploads. I do have some playlists that I need to update that have all kinds of different stuff in them. I do have the About section. You can donate and support the channel here by sending any of these cryptos to trueperception.crypto using supported wallets, which you can find information on that at Unstoppable Domains. I do have a private Facebook group that is linked here and a bunch of referrals. I have an OpenSea account where I put some of my photography-based NFTs on there. If anybody, and I have a ton of domains that I need to share with you guys again. Actually, let me just do that here. These are some of the newest ones I have bought right here. If anybody is ever interested in any of these, feel free to contact me. They are all for sale for the most part. So open to that. And yeah, guys, with that, I guess I'm going to get off of here. If anything major happens today that we need to go over, I will be back. I am off today. I am hanging out, and look at this. We're not going to watch this because I'm not going to get a copyright hit, but BCBacker has a new video. First leaders emerge while Bitcoin, altcoins, and Ripple XRP price chart remain under retracement levels. Right under that 618, guys. This is who I follow. I took his school, which I do. Let me just bring that up since I'm still rambling. If you go here, it's $40, and this will teach you some stuff about how to, this is what the course curriculum has. How to use some of the tools under TradingView and CoinTrader Pro, Fibonacci retracements, which is what all of my stuff is based off of, and a lot of stuff about why he compares these bull runs to what's happening now. Here's his exit plan for all this stuff, and he does a lot of updates throughout the year and stuff as crazy things happen. He does these little mini updates and stuff. It's really cool. You get all of it for life, I'm pretty sure. So I highly recommend that. If you do buy it, stop by his channel. Let him know the True Perception sent you guys. And I'm going to jump off here and go watch that video. So I will catch you guys on the next one.